Hello, welcome to Papa Nick's Music. I am, as always, your host, Papa Nick Lewis. And before we get into our topic of conversation this week, a quick update on No Shave November. Oh, it's starting to look like a beard. Regular viewers will know that I'm participating in No Shave November this year. At the end of November, I'm going to be making a donation to the American Cancer Society, and I am allowing y'all to determine exactly how big of a donation that is. So, for the videos that I post in the month of November, for every like that I get, there will be $1 put into the kitty. For every comment that I get, will be $5 put into the kitty. And for every new subscription that I get, $10 go into the kitty. And as of today, it is Thursday, November 21, as I'm recording this. 38 likes so far for my November videos, 15 comments, and 3 new subscriptions, which gives me a total so far of $143. So, nicely done. Remember, my minimum donation is going to be $250, but however much y'all comment and like and subscribe is going to determine how high it goes. If it goes too high, it'll have to be done in installments because I'm not made of money. But it will be done. Okay, enough of that stuff. Now, let's get into the topic of conversation this week. I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway here. I need one more week to finish off the fall of Hall & Oates. So that's going to be next week. So this week, we're talking Taskmaster. Wait, this is Papa Nick's Music. What are we talking? Quite some time ago, I toyed with the idea of having an occasional series, Comedy Wednesdays, because as much as I love music, I love comedy almost as much, if not more. I mean, comedy and music are the two lenses through which I view my life. And I really love British comedy. Like many people, when COVID came around and found myself locked in my home for days on end, I kept my sanity by diving into YouTube and exploring British comedy, and I came to know 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown was the gateway, but that led me to 8 out of 10 Cats. It led me to Mock the Week. It led me to Would I Lie to You and QI and Have I Got News for You, although I don't watch a whole lot of that one. And ultimately, it led me to Taskmaster. And I am a huge fan of Taskmaster. I could be talking about the music on Taskmaster. In fact, that it's entirely possible that at some point we will. I have on my phone 2 different Taskmaster apps. The premium app where you can watch old series of the show, and the just goofy fun puzzle app. The Goofy Fun Puzzle app has a feature called the Jukebox, where you can play music from the episodes, the backing music, the filler music, the stings, and that kind of stuff. And I adore that. It's also available on YouTube. Several people have made copies of those performances available. But we're not going to talk about the music of Taskmaster today. No. That first Comedy Wednesday video I did, I ranked the, at that time, 14 series of Taskmaster from least funny to funniest. Last week, series 18 wrapped, so got 4 new series that I have to somehow shoehorn into this list. So I thought, okay, it's time for an update. Looking back over my original ranking, I was horribly unfair to a couple of the series. So there are a few series that have significantly changed their position, and I'm adding in the 4 new series, and we are going to rank the 18 series so far of Taskmaster. Cool? Before I get into this, of course, we are doing the subjectivity notice. Comedy is an art, and as in all art, there is no such thing as objectively good or objectively bad art. There is only art that I like and art that I do not. And as long as we keep that in mind, this is a wonderful conversation. It goes off the rails really quickly as soon as somebody in the conversation insists on being seen as objectively right. So, don't do that. I'm not saying this is an objective measurement of these series. No, this is my take. If you disagree, by all means, drop a comment down below. I always love hearing from you. And hey, $5 is $5, right? Just don't tell me that I've gotten it wrong objectively. No, 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 my friend. There is no such thing as objective quality, objective evaluative quality in art. Okay, with that said, very quickly, for the newbies in the house, there may be a few of you who don't know what Taskmaster is. So very quickly, Taskmaster is a British comedy show. In each series, we're doing our best to stick to the British nomenclature here. So we're talking about these in series rather than seasons. For each series, 5 comedians or comedy adjacent celebrities compete in a variety of very silly tasks. Paint the best portrait of the Taskmaster using your feet. Play hide and seek with the Taskmaster's assistant, little Alex Horn, right? A variety of these really stupid little tasks. They are filmed doing the tasks. They do the tasks in isolation. They don't know what the other comedians are doing. Then, after several weeks of filming these things, and after the film has all been edited together, the comedians come to the studio and they film the studio show. In the studio show, each episode begins with the prize task. That week they have a category for their prizes, and the original intent was that they would bring in things from their home that fit the category. It has since become a strange, prop comedy free-for-all, but still, they've got their prizes for the task. At the end of their presentation, Greg Davis, the Taskmaster, awards the best prize 5 points and the worst prize 1 point. Everybody's rated in between. We then move on to the filmed tasks. At the end of the episode, there is a live studio task, and each time the winner gets 5 points. The final, or the loser. I hate using winner and loser, doesn't really fit, but the best effort gets 5 points. The worst effort gets 1 point. At the end of each episode, whoever has the highest point total wins that week's prize haul. And then at the end of the series, whoever has the highest total wins the series, and they get a trophy. The first season, it was just a karate trophy or a bowling trophy, something like that. It was just a cheesy trophy. But from series 2 on, it has been a gold painted paper mache head. It's supposed to be Greg Davis's head, but it doesn't look anything like Greg Davis. And it's a lot of fun. One of the reasons why this show is as popular as it is, I think, is the variety that you find in it. The tasks are a variety of different things. Some of them are purely physical, obstacle course kinds of tasks or endurance tasks. One of the tasks in one of the seasons is see who can go the longest without blinking, for example. Sometimes they are weird puzzle tasks. Sometimes they involve physical comedy. They involve verbal comedy. I mean, they involve art and music, and it's just in any given episode, regardless of what kind of comedy you like, whether you like slapstick or wordplay or puns or whatever it is, there's going to be some of that in that episode. And the 5 comedians that they cast in each series are very broad in their reach. They're very broad in the number of fans they have and in the type of comedy that they do. So there is variety. So no matter which season you pick, there will be things that will make you laugh. Some of them will make you laugh harder than others, but they will all make you laugh. It is a very good show. It is a very funny show, and it is very, very strongly recommended. So, before we get into the ranking, all of these series are good, and you will find something in each one that you love. Okay? With that being said, for me, they are not all equal. Now, the first time I did this ranking, I tried my best to be as objective in my subjectivity as I could. I tried several different ways of arranging the series. I did a lot of work trying to figure out a way to organize these. And for the most part, I think it was decent, but looking back on the ranking that I originally had, I see that I've got some pretty big problems. This time, I'm going by a simple metric, and that is, okay, if I'm going to rewatch one of these series, and I have seen all of these series multiple times, if I'm going to rewatch one of these series, which one am I going to start with? Which one am I going to then move on to? Which one am I then going to move on to? How likely am I to want to rewatch this series yet again? That's the metric that I've used here. Okay? Okay. Coming in at number 18, it is my lowest ranked series. It was my lowest ranked series last time. It is Series 8. With Ian Sterling, Joe Thomas, Lou Sanders, Paul Sinha, and Sean Gibson. I should like this series more than I do because I love Lou Sanders. I think she is brilliant as a comedian. And Joe Thomas and Sean Gibson were a wonderful surprise. They were very enjoyable to watch. Paul Sinha was okay, not great. Ian Sterling is the reason why I don't enjoy watching this series. He does not present himself well throughout the series, and in many of the tasks, it's uncomfortable to watch him. So, number 18, Series 8. Number 17, it was 13th out of 14 in my last ranking, so even though technically it's dropped 4 notches, it's in the same spot it was in before, and that is Series 2, featuring Doc Brown, Joe Wilkinson, John Richardson, Katherine Ryan, and Richard Osman. And I should love this series. This should be one of my favorites because I love John Richardson. I think he's a brilliant comedian. I love Joe Wilkinson. Oh my God. And Richard Osman's fantastic. I mean, one of the quickest wits. Probably the funniest non-comedian that they've had on the series, on the show. The reason it's down at number 17, I almost said 13 again. The reason it's down at number 17 is Katherine Ryan. I cannot stand Katherine Ryan. I do not think Katherine Ryan is funny. I find her irritating. She is. I'm not going to. If I watch, I'm fast forwarding through Katherine Ryan's bits, and it's too much trouble to do throughout the whole series. So, coming in at second from the bottom because of Katherine fucking Ryan, Series 2. At number 16, in the same relative spot it was in last time, it was 12 out of 14 last time, and that is Series 3, featuring Al Murray, Dave Gorman, Paul Chowdhury, Rob Beckett, and Sarah Pascoe. I like Rob Beckett and Sarah Pascoe as comedians. I don't think they do particularly well here. I cut Rob some slack. He and his wife had just had, I think, their first child, almost immediately before he started filming his tasks. So he's working on very little sleep, very little energy. But overall, they're not bad. It's just not great. Al Murray and Dave Gorman are... Paul Chowdhury is weird, and sometimes it's off-putting, but a lot of times it's funny as hell. So this is a series that I will rewatch. The first, Series 8, Series 2, I'm not likely to rewatch again. I've seen them enough. I'll limit myself to clips when it comes to those series. Series 3 I'll watch. So from here on out, I will actually rewatch these series. Coming in at number 15. Okay, here we have the big change. When I did my first ranking, I had this series at number 4. 4 out of 14. I had it way up close to the top. Ooh. And I now have it 4th from the bottom instead of 4th from the top. It has fallen 11 spots on my ranking. It's an amazing free fall for Series 13. Series 13 features Ardal O'Hanlon, Bridget Christie, Chris Ramsey, Judy Love, and Sophie Duker. And I love Ardal O'Hanlon. He is great. I love Chris Ramsey. He is great. I love Sophie Duker. She is brilliant. Bridget Christie, a little Bridget Christie goes a long way for me. I think many of her tasks are very creative and very well done, and many of them are not. for me, the problem here is Judy Love. I don't hate Judy Love the way I do Catherine Ryan, but I cannot take. I have to take Judy Love in small doses, and now it's the point where I'm having to fast forward over Judy Love heavy moments in the series. She's dragging it down. Give it another few months, and she's probably going to be taking it down a notch further. Coming in at number 14, here we have our first appearance of one of the new series. At 14, now, you can't tell. I've got a spreadsheet set up here because, of course, I would. These first four that we've talked about, the first four that we've talked about are shaded orange. They are the ones that I'm probably, if I'm being honest, I'm not recommending. Starting with 14 here up through 10, these are ones that I am recommending. We're in the, okay, it's safe to come out now. We don't have, a Judy Love or a Catherine fucking Ryan, an Ian Sterling or a Al Murray to harsh the vibe. Okay, from here on, these are good series. Although, as I said at the beginning, they're all good. Coming in at number 14, we have Series 17. 17 features Joanne McNally, John Robbins, Nick Mohammed, Sophie Willen, and Steve Pemberton. Going into this, keep in mind I live here in the States. I am not completely well versed in British comedy, so I did not know who Joanne McNally was. I did not know who Sophie Willen was. I did not know who Steve Pemberton was, because I haven't watched a great deal of British scripted television or sitcoms or anything like that. I did know who John Robbins was because I've seen him on various panel shows, and I know who Nick Mohammed was. Again, I've seen Mr. Swallow more than a few times on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. And I had high hopes for Nick Mohammed coming into this series. When I found out that he was going to do the whole series dressed up in full outfit and full makeup as Dracula, I thought, oh man, this is going to be good. And while he was the people's champion, oh my God, Nick Mohammed was not good at Taskmaster. I came out of this show with very great respect and admiration for Joanne McNally and Sophie Willen both. They impressed the hell out of me with their comedy. Steve Pemberton impressed the hell out of me with his intellect, but did not. I didn't get a strong bond with Steve Pemberton throughout the series, nor did I get a very strong bond with John Robbins. I like John a little bit better than Steve, but if I'm rewatching this, it's to watch Joanne and Sophie. They fantastic. Coming in at number 14 is Series 17. Coming in at number 13, we have the series that just wrapped up last week. That's Series 18. Andy Zaltzman, Babatunde Eleshe, Emma City, Jack D, and Rosie Jones. There were a lot of very good moments in this series. Coming in, I knew who Babatunde Eleshe was, familiar with his comedy. I knew who Jack D was, familiar with his comedy. I knew who Rosie Jones was, familiar with her comedy. In two of these cases, this is a good thing. I like Babatunde Eleshe, and I like Jack D. I do not care for Rosie Jones. I don't hate her the way I hate Catherine Ryan, but she doesn't appeal to me. I understand why people love her as much as they do. It doesn't connect to me. I had never heard of Andy Zaltzman or Emma City before watching this series, and I've come at the end as I have come out at the end of the series, as often happens. I've discovered somebody that I now am a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Emma City. Oh my God, she was good. I'm not as big a fan of Andy Zaltzman. I've nothing against Andy Zaltzman. He's a very he has very smart humor, and I typically like that. There's just I think a little Andy Zaltzman would go a long way with me. I was interested primarily to see if at the end of a series, at the end of 10 episodes of this, if my opinion of Rosie Jones was going to change. Because that happens sometimes. You get somebody in there and you think, oh, I'm not going to like this person. But by the end of the series, you realize, oh, no, I like this person quite a bit, actually. That did not happen. I'm still not particularly fond of Rosie Jones. And Rosie Jones is primarily the reason why Series 18 is coming in as low as it is, ranked at number 13. At number 12, another one of the new series, Series 15. This series features Frankie Boyle, Ivo Graham, Jenny A. Claire, Kyle Smith-Bino, and Mae Martin. Now, I liked this series, and this series had a lot of really good bits to it. I particularly am a fan of Frankie Boyle and Ivo Graham. I think they're both wonderful comedians, and I really like Kyle Smith-Bino. I think he's got a very good sense of humor. Excuse me. Mae Martin, I was not all that taken by. Their humor is just... There's too much emphasis on doing the tasks correctly, as opposed to being entertaining while doing the tasks. And so, I can take or leave Mae Martin. And Jenny A. Claire, for the most part, I have the same kind of reaction to, but for a different reason. Jenny A. Claire was very much in it for the comedy and trying to be funny, I just didn't find her to be all that funny. So, yeah, number 12, Series 15. Coming in at number 11, we have the series that started it all. Frank Skinner, Josh Whitcomb, Roisin Kennedy, Ramesh Ranganathan, and Tim Key were the contestants in the first series of Taskmaster. And I have the same comment that I had the last time I did this. Frank Skinner is a national treasure. Josh and Ramesh are both fantastic comedians. Roisin Kennedy is a bubbling, sparkling personality, and I love watching her. Tim Key gets on my nerves after a while because he wants too hard to win. It's probably part of the reason why I didn't connect to John Robbins. In his series, same kind of problem. Coming in at number 10, this is one of, I think it's the only one. No, it's one of two, I think. It's one of three. It's one of three series that did not change. Even though I added 4 new series in, this is at the same spot. It was at number 10 the last time I ranked them, and it's at number 10 now, and that is Series 10. Nice little bit of synchronicity there. Series 10 featuring Daisy Mae Cooper, Johnny Vegas, Catherine Parkinson, Mawaan Rizwan, and Richard Herring. Coming in, I knew something about Johnny Vegas. I mean, he's Johnny Vegas. He's a force of nature. I knew Catherine Parkinson because I enjoyed watching the IT Crowd, and I knew Richard Herring because I enjoy his podcast. I didn't know much about Mawaan Rizwan, and I didn't know anything about Daisy Mae Cooper, and after watching Series 10, I, to this day, don't care to know anything about Daisy Mae Cooper. I found her off-putting. I found her rude. I did not find her funny. So I don't care for Daisy Mae Cooper. I thought everybody else did fantastic, and it's got some genuinely hilarious moments in it. So coming in at number 10, we have Series 10. At number 9, now from here on out, my spreadsheet changes to green. So from here on out, this is the strongly recommended stuff. This is like the A to A plus if I'm doing an album ranking, okay? You can't miss with these. On my spreadsheet, I've got the information about the series. I've got a note or two about the pros. I've got and I've got the cons, and the cons are all empty from here on out. There's no Daisy Mae Coopers. There's no John Robbins competitiveness. Tim Key getting on my nerves. Catherine fucking Ryan. There's none of that stuff going forward. It's all positive. Coming in at number 9, we have the highest ranking of our 4 new series. We've got Series 16 coming in at 9th place. Series 16 features Julian Clary, Lucy Beaumont, Sam Campbell, Sue Perkins, and Susan Wokoma. This is a very strong cast. No weak links here. nobody that I kind of give a sideways glance to and wish they'd wrap it up. It's a wonderful cast. I knew Julian Clary, I knew Sam Campbell, I knew Sue Perkins. I barely knew Lucy Beaumont, and I did not know who Susan Wokoma was. At the end of this series, I'm a big fan of all 5 of these folks. Particularly enjoyed the team tasks. We had 2 teams here. Team 1 was Julian Clary, Lucy Beaumont, and Sam Campbell. Team 2 was the two Sues. And oh my God, were those teams were just inspired. It was fantastic. The main reason, though, why I would recommend Series 16 is Sam Campbell. I think Sam Campbell is a brilliant comedian, and a show like Taskmaster really plays to his strengths. Love Series 16. Comes in at number 9. At number 8, we've got a series that I originally had at number 11 on my last, and so it has climbed 3 because I realized I was just way too harsh on this. I was way too harsh on this because there's one person on the cast that I'm not that fond of, but there are 4 people that I just adore, and the adores are beating out the not too fond ofs. Coming in at number 8, I've got Series 11, and Series 11 features Charlotte Ritchie, Jamali Maddox, Lee Mack, Mike Wozniak, and Sarah Kendall, and this is brilliant television. We've got Lee Mack and Mike Wozniak on a team together. I mean, come on, it does not get any better than that. The only negative I have here is that Sarah Kendall is a little bit on the boring side. That is not much of a negative. Fantastic series. Fantastic series. Coming in at number 7, this is one of 3 that stayed in the same spot. It was number 7 in the last one as well, and that is Series 12. Series 12 features Alan Davis. Ooh, I've got one of Alan's books. Alan Davis, Desiree Birch, Guz Khan, Morgana Robinson, and Victoria Corin Mitchell. I was talking earlier about being interested to see if watching the whole Series 18 would make me a fan of Rosie Jones. And I know it can happen because it did happen in this series. Before this series started, I knew who Victoria Corin Mitchell was, and I wasn't particularly fond of her. She always struck me as being way too condescending. But watching her teach herself how to ride a bike just completely changed my opinion of her, and I now adore her. This was a very strong cast. Alan Davis's upside down face is just one of my favorite moments in the entire series. I regularly watch that and just cackle. Wonderful, wonderful series. Series 12, coming in at number 7. At number 6, we have Series 9. This is the series with David Baddiel, Ed Gamble, Joe Brand, Katie Wicks, and Rose Matafeo. This series is up higher, 3 spots higher than it was last time I did it. Same problem here that I realized that Series 11 had. I was punishing this series too much because I'm just not that fond of Rose Matafeo. I'm not that fond of Rose Matafeo, but I don't think she's bad. She's just not my cup of tea. Everybody else, fantastic. David Baddiel and Joe Brand, when they were a team together, were just wonderful, wonderfully hilarious. And Ed Gamble throughout. Ed Gamble has an extremely quick wit, particularly when it comes to the kind of roasting humor that Taskmaster can encourage. It doesn't have to, but it often does. I really like Series 9, and I have given it its due, given it 3 points. It's now at number 6. At number 5, I have Series 6. Series 6 featured Alice Levine, Asim Chowdhury, sorry, Asim, I said your name wrong, Lisa Tarbuck, Russell Howard, and Tim Vine. Lisa Tarbuck, Russell Howard make this series. They are fantastic. They are brilliant. Tim Vine is... First time I watched it, I thought, oh my God, this guy is corny beyond belief. The more I watch it, the more the more I'm coming to appreciate Tim Vine. There's a very good cast. It's a very funny series. Funny enough for me to put it at number 5. I had it at number 6 before. Okay, coming in at number 4, I have Series 4. Series 4 features Hugh Dennis, Joe Lycett, Lali Adefope, Mel Giedroyc, and Noel Fielding. And there is nothing negative I can say about this. Hugh Dennis is fantastic. Mel Giedroyc is hilarious. The team of Joe, Lolly, and Noel, when they are doing team tasks together, is you got Hugh and Mel, the parents, Joe, Noel, and Lolly, the children. Oh, it's wonderful. That's a very good series. It's a good series to start on because of the variety of humor we have throughout. No weaknesses, no drawbacks. Strong series. Coming in at number 3, I have the series that was ranked number 2 before, and that is Series 5. Series 5 features Aisling Bea, Bob Mortimer, Mark Watson, Nish Kumar, and Sally Phillips. And the only reason I had this ranked at number 2 before was that the only thing I could say about it was that I liked my number 1 series better. And I realize now there are 2 series I like better. But come on, it's got Bob Mortimer in it, for crying out loud. It's got Aisling Bea and Nish Kumar. It's brilliant comedy in Series 5. It's my now 3rd ranked series. Coming in at number 2, I had this originally down at number 5, and so it's come up 3 spots. And the only thing I can think of was that I put it down as far as I did because it was still new, and that is Series 14. When I did this the first time, Series 14 was the series that had just wrapped. And so I was afraid that part of my affection for it was based on how new it was. And so I went ahead and docked it to account for that. And it turns out, no, it is, oh my God, rewatchable. It easily the series I've watched the second most times. Series 14 features Dara O'Brien, Fern Brady, have one of her books, John Kearns, Munya Chihuahua, and Sarah Millican. I mean, come on, Dara O'Brien and Sarah Millican. This is like national treasures here. Fern Brady is, oh my God, is she sharp. John Kearns is brilliant. He's one of the best stand-ups that they've had on this, and every series has, world champion caliber stand-ups. John Kearns is brilliant. A lot of good stuff going on here. The weakest link we have is Munya Chihuahua, who is very quick-witted and very personable. The only negative thing I can say is that I haven't felt compelled to follow up on him and track him down doing anything else the way I have with Fern Brady and John Kearns, the other 2 people I wasn't that familiar with before this series came on. So, number 2 is Series 14. But number 1 is still my all-time number 1, and that is Series 7. Come on. James Acaster, Jessica Knappett, Kerry Godleman, Phil Wang, Rod Gilbert. James Acaster. I've got a couple more. I've got one more James. Oh, yeah, it's not out. He's released 3 books, and I've got all 3 of them. You better believe I do. I love Series 7. It is the best cast. It is the funniest series. I've watched it now probably 5 times, and I would watch it again at the drop of a hat. Fantastic series, and it is my favorite series of Taskmaster. But these top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8, top 9, whatever, you can't go wrong with these. You pick one and watch it. If you're not familiar with Taskmaster, it's a great place to start. Just grab one of these top 5. You'll thank me later. I love Taskmaster. And that's how I would rank the series of Taskmaster. What do you think? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Drop that comment down below. I always love hearing from you. And remember, every time you comment, that's $5 that I'm donating to the American Cancer Society. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you click the like button. There's a buck. While you're down there clicking, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Ooh, $10 there. If you've not already subscribed, I would appreciate it very much. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. So I thank you very much if you do subscribe. If you do subscribe, he said repetitively, go ahead and click the bell for notifications while you're down there. The YouTube folks appreciate that, so on their behalf, because frankly, I don't give a shit one way or the other. But, YouTube folks like the notifications. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. Next week we're wrapping up, or we're revisiting the fall of Hall and Oates. So I hope you'll be here for that. And in the meantime, I hope the rest of your day is tranquil. See you soon.